Hey guys, happy Friday. Thank you for joining me. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, where we relax and craft and work on a project together. Thanks for watching the replay if you're watching the replay on Facebook, and the replay will also be on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. Hello, Pam. Thanks for joining us. Hey, Kim. All right, guys, we are gonna, for reals this time, finish up the Tweet House embroidery pattern. So we color tinted this with crayons first, and we just have this little bit right here of the leaves to stitch in yet. So that's what we'll be doing tonight. Finishing it for real, and then we'll call it a night and have a weekend. So, all right, guys, I'm going to flip you around. Let's get started on this right away. If you wanted the pattern, I am still going to have, this is a winter bonus pattern. This pattern is actually kind of a little summary little pattern, and I have the winter version available just for this little bit of time here. I'll have it available through the weekend. Oh, you might get a peek at the hubs. There, he's gonna walk through here. But anyway, so that is gonna be available for the through the weekend yet. All right, I think he's hiding. Anyway, I'll flip you around. Oh, he waved a little bit there. All right, guys, let's start stitching. Oh, hi, Therese. First time here from YouTube. Well, thanks for joining me live tonight. All right, guys, this is it. I'm gonna start with the little red French knots there. We did that yesterday for this side, and then we did the leaves already, so we just have the little, I always want to say fern, but it's an evergreen bough, and then this is, you know, I don't know, olive branchy, leafy dealio there. Oh my gosh, Michelle, you need to go back to bed. That's so early. Oh man. Well, thanks for joining me. All right, I am super excited about getting this done. I thought we were gonna get it done last night, but I didn't estimate well how long it was gonna take to stitch all of the little greenery. We did all of the sparkle floss in one day, and that was all of this, the roof, and then all of these little bits there. So I'm like, wow, if we can finish all that in a day, then we'll be able to finish all these green bits in a day. But there's actually a lot of little stitches in all these, so it took a little while. Alrighty, let's start. I mean, I have my needle here with the thread from yesterday on, but I really kind of want to keep going around in a circle. So I think I'm going to take that off. We have our red from yesterday. I want to get those berries done on that holly. Oh, I saw just before I got on here tonight, some of your guys' finished tweet houses in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group. They look so good. I love all the colors that you guys chose for your crayons, and man, I'm really liking this project. We should do a crayon thing again. This is the first time I'm doing this whole crayon tinting of an embroidery before. Ooh, I kind of did that the wrong way. We'll go up and then down one more time. But it's my first time doing the color tinting embroidery, and it's been really fun. Like, I'm surprised at how much I actually like how it's turning out. I mean, I thought it'd be fun, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how I'd like it ultimately. But I can totally see doing this again. For sure. Here, I'll zoom you guys into the French knots again, and we'll go over the French knots. Alrighty. Ooh, we're maybe a little too close. I think I'll be a little too wiggly. All right, you can see my little dots here that I got on for French knots. So I colored in the red little areas. Those aren't exactly on my dots. I'm talking about the little pencil, oops, the pencil markings there. So I'm going to come up on one side of that dot, and so I'm going to end up going back on the other side of the dot. So not in the same hole, just a little on the other side there. So I'm like crossing over the dot. All right, so I'm going to start by holding my floss, the floss that's coming out of the fabric there. I'm going to just hold it straight up in the air. And then I'm going to put my needle pointed up away from the fabric. I'm going to wrap it around twice there. So you want to really make sure that you're going up away from the fabric. You are not going towards the fabric. If you're going towards the fabric, your stitch, it'll just be like one tiny stitch. It won't end up forming a knot. So we need to go hold this up in the air, and then we need to go away from the fabric. And then I wrap around twice. Then I hold it there with my fingers so those loops don't go away. And now I point back at the fabric. And remember, I'm not going in the same hole. I'm going across that dot right there. And when the needle's in a little ways, I can let go. And then I pull those knots or the loops to the fabric. I'm not like pulling as hard as I can. It's just so it's wrapped around. All right, then I'm going to lift up my hoop from the ground. I like putting it on a surface, like a flat surface, while I work on French knots. But then I pick it up and I'm going to hold those loops there with my thumb, and then I'll pull that through. If you don't hold the loops like this, then you'll get like a weird loopy blobs sometime. They won't be like nice, perfect French knots. And then once the thread's all the way through, you got a little French knot. So let's go through that again. Coming up on one side of my pencil dot, holding this straight up, pointing the needle away, holding the loops, then point it back towards the fabric, putting it on the other side of the dot. We'll pull those loops and hold those loops with my thumb, and then slowly pull through there. And there we go. So I think I have two more. Yep, two more on this one. I think I put 6 on the other one, but that was on accident. We'll do just the 5 on this one. And one more. Oh man, we're gonna be all done with red then. This is our last red stitch right here. And I'm kind of sad that we'll be done with this project. All right, I'm going to zoom you guys out and we'll weave in the end. And then we'll trim that. So I weave in the end just so I don't have any knots on the back. With no knots on the back, my thread doesn't catch on anything, which is very nice. Then I don't have a random loop that I didn't know was there because it caught on a knot. Oh man, Sue, I do too. It's so neat to see how you guys are doing this pattern. You know, everyone is coloring it differently and stitching it differently. It's just really, really neat to see all the different variations. All right, we got our itty bitty holly done there. So, all right, next up is this little evergreen guy. All right, I do have a little bit of that green left. Oh, this is kind of a short, maybe that was a scrap. What do I got here? Oh, this is a longer piece. I'm going to use the longer piece just because I think this is going to take quite a bit of floss. This one that we did down here took a lot, so let's assume this one will too. Where'd my needle go? Did I put it in Zeb here? Nope. Oh, I just set it on the table here. I'm just using a white muslin, Michelle. It's just a simple muslin. It has a little bit of a more open weave than a tightly woven quilting weight fabric, and it helps me pull the needle through a little bit better. But it's not so loose, like it's not like a linen, like a loose linen or anything. It's just some cotton muslin. All right, so I'm gonna weave in the ends here, I think, and then just jump over here. That's kind of, I don't always like doing that, but I'm trying to avoid starting with my away knot deal. We'll do that some other time. Let's see, let's weave in the end here. I'm gonna miss working with this variegated floss too. Oh, no problem, Michelle. Ask away. And 3. All right, there we go. Let's snip our end. All right, let's get this guy going. I think we'll start with the little ferny, or the needles. I keep saying ferns. We'll start with the needles and then go back up through the stems. I'm just doing like just little stitches, I mean, I don't know, I suppose they're kind of like back stitches. They're just like non-stitches. They're just, you know, here's a line and cover it with thread. It's just a stitch. So this pine bow, we colored in a little different color than this other one, so I'm wondering if they'll look different. Yeah, so this floss is from Weeks Dye Works. So if you do a search for that, I think I might have put a link to some of their floss here. Oh, maybe I didn't, but if you do a search for Weeks Dye Works, like weeks as in like the day of the week, Dye Works, they have amazing variegated floss. It's just all so fun. And they have like the best names for their flosses too. These ones all happen to be kind of berry sounding names, which is perfect. Like, you know, all this is really saturated, I feel like just juicy, fun colors, and the names fit perfectly. Like this one that I'm using right now is called Citron, which I think fits perfectly. It's just like this citrusy lime green, and I don't know, it looks like a citron. And then this this variegated red to pink is called Grapefruit, and the purple is Sugar Plum, which fits for like a winter theme thing, I think. And I don't know the other ones. I don't have the other ones out anymore, but like, you know, because I have the blue. I think blue is the only other color used here, really. Oh, and the black. The black is just some black I had. I don't think that's not variegated or anything. But some of their floss is just subtly variegated, and some of it's not variegated at all. I just like the variegated. I've been stitching using variegated for embroidery for a little bit now. I never used to, but I don't know, the more I do it, the more fun it is. But they have some subtle variegated floss, and then they have like some really not subtle at all and changes into like a bunch of different colors of variegated floss. These ones are kind of in the middle, where it looks like there's a lot of variation, but it sticks within the same, like a similar color palette versus changing complete colors. I like it. It's fun to use. I like to see, like, I never used to use it before because variegated floss because I couldn't control it. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't control the color changing and stuff, and that, you know, I don't know, perfectionism won out for me, but, you know, I'm trying to combat that, and now I think it's like way more fun discovering where the color is going to change and stuff, and just wondering how it's going to look, and just, you know, living with it and being excited about how it ended up you know, like this, for example, like look at this, I don't know if you guys can tell, but you know, we got this citrusy green, and then then it goes to gray here. I mean, that's something I would have never chosen on my own, but I think it's just really pretty. And same here, like I got like a gray leaf and a green leaf just because of how the variation, or how it variegated itself. And yeah, I just would have never done that on my own, and I really like it. So I think it's fun. Thanks, Donna. Oh man, me too, Irene. So next week on Monday, we are starting the Christa Quilts Chevron quilt, or Charming Chevrons is what it's called. And I'll show you guys that. Do I have it near me? Yeah, I do. We're gonna start that project on Monday, and I'm assuming that we'll start with a pile of cutting. So we'll cut all the fabric up, and it's all very similar. So if you read through the pattern, it's one of these quilts where it's basically the same block for the entire quilt, and it'll be like a nice little zen repetitive thing. And then I mean, I'm really excited about the fabrics I pulled, so I want to see all those fabrics together like super bad. And then when we're done making it, it'll be like a test of machine free motion quilting. So it's supposed to act as a practice quilt for me to learn how to free motion quilt, because I barely know anything about that. Or I've read a little bit about it, but I haven't practiced. Let's call it that. I'm not a practicing free motion quilter, and I'd like to be. So this is my attempt on learning how to do that. I'm gonna, just be horrible in front of you guys and hopefully get good at it. I don't know, we'll see. Not good, I mean, it takes years of practice, I'm sure, but I'm hoping I get better than what I am when I start. That's what I'm hoping. All right, I'm gonna put a little French knot on the end of this guy, so it's like a little bud. But yeah, I'm super excited for that. And I think I have a link to the pattern, so you can still go snag that. I believe there's a PDF pattern available too. And then be sure to get on her Facebook group as well. And if I didn't post that already, I will post that on Monday. So Monday I'll give out a bunch of information for that, so you guys can follow her stuff and what she's up to too. But I'll show you the pattern here quick. So, all right, so this is the, oops, I'm still kind of zoomed in a little bit here. Let me zoom you guys out. Oop, wrong way. There we go. Sorry, guys. So this is the quilt we're gonna do. So it has like a, it has a color in the background, and then like colorful zigzags. So like this one has a dark blue in the background, and this one has a gray in the background with zigzags. She does have the sizes. You can do a lap, throw, twin, or queen, and it shows what you need for fabric, for all the parts. And she has it split in like, what if you have charm packs or fat quarters or yardage? She really does a really great job of this. And if you go to the link for the pattern, if you click the first image, you can see the background. So you can buy the pattern, and then before the pattern gets to you, you can still see the back, so you can get all the fabric that you need, or know what you need for fabric. And these are my colors, and it actually feels a lot like this. I might be in these, like in this world of juicy colors lately, because it feels a lot like what I did for the winter pattern now that I'm looking at it. So I have all these juicy kind of fabrics. These are all fabrics that I've been hoarding and never used because they're just all too pretty, and they're just like, it's just a pile of juicy fabrics. That's the only way I can describe it. So some of these I used other variants of it in my Splendid sampler quilt, and I'm just trying to be better about using my fabric instead of just looking at it. You know what I mean? I mean, these were literally on my shelf for years and years and years, like almost a decade, some of these, just because it's just too pretty to use. Like, look how juicy and yummy this looks. Man, I don't know. So I'm finally going to do it. And then my background color, I'm doing this kind of, again, this kind of juicy berry red, because I kind of like how this dark blue looks like behind there. So I might not have a lot of variation in lights and darks or anything, so it might just look like a whole medium colored juice land, but I'm kind of excited about that. So that's what I'm doing for mine. That will be on Monday. So I'm getting really revved up for that as well. I think it's going to be so much fun. But yeah, so I think the pattern itself is going to be pretty simple. I mean, you know, but like I read through it already, and it looks simple, but it looks really fun and kind of clever still. How the pattern is written, I think, is clever and fun. So I'm excited to do it. And yeah, so we'll sew the top up and sandwich it together, and then yeah, then for me it's, you know, after, I mean, the making of it is all about like using those juicy fabrics that I've been hoarding. So that's what it is in my brain for me, for the fabric wise, for the top. And then the rest of the project, the quilting, I'm using it as a tool to try and learn how to free motion quilt. So that's the plan. And if you guys know how to free motion quilt, I'd love any advice once we get started. Oh, the jean quilt is, I'm at the quilting stage. I am doing it, I'm hand tying the quilt. And man, I'm so close. I just need to put in some time to it, and I just haven't. I have, oh man, if I had one full day, like one full day on a weekend to just chill and work on that and nothing else, and, you know, watch movies, I'd probably get it done in that day if it was like a long day. So I'm probably about halfway done quilting it with all the little hand-tied knots. So that's where the jean quilt's at. That's another project that's over a decade old that I'm just so close to finishing, and man, I don't know. That needs to happen soon. Oh man, my jean quilt, I want that done too. All right, I don't know if I needed to, I don't know if I needed to weave that in. I could have just started the next thing, but I just went on autopilot there for a little bit. All right, we'll just start fresh on this. Oh, I love these little French knot buds. I think that is just sweet, I think. Man, digging this variegated floss still. All right, for this last one, I want to do it with the green again. Hopefully this is enough floss. We'll see. This looks kind of not like a lot, but we'll see. And then it has 4 little dots in there. I'm going to treat those as berries, and I kind of want to use this purple again, because I only use the purple on these two, the holes, the house holes there, and I'd like to use a little bit more. So this will have little purple berries instead of the red, because those are pretty bold, those red berries. I wanted to try some purple again. All right, so I think with this I always like kind of planning it out. I think I'm gonna weave in the edge here, or weave into the backs of these stitches to start. And I think we'll start with the all the chain stitches, these little, like lazy daisy, these little single chain stitches, and then we'll go back and do the stitching of the stems, and then we'll get the purple out and do those 4 little dots and do that. Oh, Sue, that's actually a good idea. Do the oldest projects, get those done first. I was just thinking. When you said that, I was thinking of how they say to pay off credit cards. Like if you have a bunch of credit cards to pay off, do the minimum balance on all of them and then pay the one with the highest interest rate off first, or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I've heard that recently. And the way you just said that, like take your oldest and do it first, reminded me of that. Like, yeah, we'll just whittle away on the oldest and get to the newest. That might be a good way to do it. Oh man, I gotta lay out all my unfinished projects again, I think, and just see what's there. All right, I'm gonna zoom you guys in again, I think, for these little chain stitchies. All right, so I want to start and end in the same spot. So I came out and I'm making like kind of a loop with my thread in the same shape as the loop on my leaf here. And I came out of that hole there right at the point by the stem, and I'm gonna go back in the exact same hole. But I'm gonna come up right away. I'm not gonna pull my thread very far. I'm gonna come up right away at like the apex of that little loop there. And we will pull that, and since I came up through the loop, it's gonna catch on my floss right there. And I'm not gonna pull it very tight, because if I pull tight, I won't have that nice leaf-shaped loop anymore. It'll just look like a tight single stitch. So we're gonna leave it loose, and I'm feeling like something's wrong back here. Yeah, there we go. Oh man, I got a whole mess back here. I think I'm gonna try and fix that. So I think I made the needle go through the middle of my floss here. There we go. Let's do that again. Oh, you hurt your back, had to stop doing a quilt along. Oh, that's a bummer, Therese. Oh, that's nice. So you can still work on something. That's a good thing. Man, I love handwork like that so much. Cause yeah, quilting is definitely can be pretty physical. All right, so now we're back in business again. I'm gonna leave it kind of loose like that, and then I'm gonna just tack down that loop so it stays in place. I'm just gonna go right on the other side of the loop. Got a tiny little stitch there, and we're gonna just tack it down. There we go. So that will just stay there right like that. And I think we'll just go up this way. So again, I'm making my thread go the same way that the loop is, or that the leaf is. And then I'm going to come back up in the middle of that circle that I made. You'd really like to do this winter version of the Tweet House. Oh, Pert, there's a link directly on my Facebook post here. I think you might have to, I don't know if you're watching just the video, maybe it doesn't pop up, but it's in like the written part of this post. Otherwise, I'll just tell you what it is now. It is, if you go to the website Peng, that's P-E-N-G, .fish, F-I-S-H, and then a / Tweet House PDF. That will get you to the PDF version of the Tweet House pattern. And you're actually getting the Tweet House, the original pattern, the more summary one, but it will come with this winter pattern in it. And I think I'll leave it up through the weekend yet. But yeah, otherwise just go to penguinandfish.com, and then when you find, just look for the pattern in the stitching section. And it comes with either, if you wanted the printed version, the winter comes as a PDF when you get the printed version as well, or the physical version. So whether you get the physical one or the digital version, they both have the winter pattern. Ooh, it's getting green again here. It went from that gray color to the green. I just thought the tweet house would be fun to do for this whole coloring thing. But then I was like, man, we can't do a summery motif during the winter, so I did up the winter pattern version of it. I really like it. I like it as a winter one. All right, and one more little leaf, and hopefully we have enough thread for these stems, because that would be nice. Be a bummer if I had to do it, but I think I have just enough thread from this this guy up here if we needed to get like a couple more stitches in there. I didn't get in the middle of the circle there, so I just placed the thread above. Okay, so let's stitch up this side. I think I might need that other piece of floss. I'm going to try and do that goofy back stitch where I switch off going forward and backwards. I think that preserves thread just a little bit, and I'll do a little bit bigger stitches. Maybe that'll help preserve floss too, and then maybe I can get it all in this one floss so I don't have to change. So I'm trying to preserve as much floss as I can here so I make it the entire way. Uh-oh. I've got a little thread loose. Let's see what's going on here. There, one of the threads got a little stuck. Gonna rethread, just squeezing the ends together, and yeah, too fuzzy. So all my ends are a different length and everything there. Once it gets like that, then it's just best to get a nice clean cut in there. So the thread, I'm just pinching my fingers together, and then as I unpinch and I can see the little green pop up, I'm just gonna place my needle right above that and keep letting it come through. Grab it, and we're back in business here. All right, oops, sorry guys, I'm kind of all over the place. Oh, thanks for the hint of untangling knots and thread. It works on your 50 weight. Oh, awesome that you're using. Oh, to piece some hexies. Yeah, so those little loopy knots to just put your needle in there and find that, find which of the two threads allows you to pull that knot up to the needle and pops right out. It's kind of magical. But yeah, once I discovered that, I was like, oh man, this is gonna solve like all my embroidery problems ever, all just being able to get rid of those knots. Oh man, I have barely enough thread. I need to at least, I'm gonna put 2 more big stitches in here. Ah! All right, 1 stitch. All right, this is the last stitch, and I'm gonna have barely enough floss to weave in the ends. But we made it! Oh, look how pretty this is with the variegated floss. Going from that green to that gray, I think that's just so pretty. Oh, it's magical that getting those loopy knots out. Yeah, for sure. All those little extra things you learn with just little crafting things, they're all magic tricks. They're all like little superpowers, you know? That's what I'm hoping to gain from the free motion quilting. I want some free motion quilting superpowers because I have 0 right now. All right, we'll snip that. Oop, missed one. And then I want to just get some purple. I'll zoom you guys out again here. Ugh, man, I'm not Can't zoom very well tonight, but here we are, almost done. I just want to put those little purple berries in here. So I'm going to get some purple. We don't need barely any, but I don't know. I need enough. I need 4 French knots. I think that's too much. It's so sad to waste this floss, but you know, it's not the end of the world. It's just floss. It's better to use it than not use it. So, all right, let's pull our 3 strands from this. I can zoom in again. It's kind of fun. This will be an up close video. All right, so just pulling the 3 strands out of there. So, oop, got caught already. This is the first one. And second. You can bump it at the end to get just 1 strand. So there we are, second strand. Just let it gather behind. And it just kind of releases. You just run your hand through it. And then 1 more here. This one's popping out already. There we go. Okay, so I have the 3 strands here. I just need to put them together again. Man, I want to stitch more with that sparkly metallic floss too, because look how cool that looks. It's just so sparkly and shiny. That Nishi Kiito, that's the type of floss. It's by Cosmo, but it's Nishi Kiito. And I put a link to this one. It's the sparkliest, most metallic, shiny embroidery floss that I've used, and I just love it. You have found that drawing the pattern you want to free motion quilt. Oh, and then practicing on a quilt sandwich helps you. Ooh, Deborah, that's a great tip. I'm gonna keep that in mind for sure. I think I have a little quilt, mini quilt sandwichy thing. It's maybe too small. Maybe I should get another one ready to go as a practice one. I think that's a good idea. All right, I'm gonna just weave into the ends on the back of my fern guy here, and then we got just these boop, 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 and then that's it. So again, instead of tying knots, I'm weaving in the ends 3 times. I think it's kind of more secure, especially if you grab as many flosses or floss bits as you can as you go through. And then again, there's no knots on the back, nothing for me to catch any loops on, which makes it easy and makes it the whole thing really clean too. The whole back of your embroidery. Which doesn't really serve a purpose, keeping a clean back, except for the knots. I don't like, I don't want to catch my, like if there's a knot right here, I could be stitching and accidentally catch this thread on that knot, and then I have this whole big loop back here that I didn't even know about, right? So by having no knots on the back, you get rid of that issue. All right. Start here. Oops, you guys can't see. There we go. Our little French knot again. Oh my God, I love this purple so much. Yay! You tried to find the link for the metallic floss. Oh, on your link. Oh, you had trouble finding the link, or the link didn't work. So the link is in, it's in this post in the supplies used area, or things used. I forget what I called the title. Supplies used. It's kind of towards the bottom. It's tough to find, honestly. You can't. I haven't found it on Amazon. The only place I found it were people selling it on Etsy. So if you go to Etsy and type in, well, Nishi Kiito, which, I don't know. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. But I do have it written down in this post here, down at the bottom in supplies, with a link. And it links to an Etsy seller that's selling it. Oh, you watch a video on free motion quilting in sections, and you think you'll try that on the chevron quilt. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, I read a book on machine quilting, and she had you start in the middle and then work your way outward. I'm going to use Christa from Christa Quilts. She has a book on, let's see, I have it here. I'm going to zoom you guys out again. Machine Quilting with Style. So this is Christa's book. I'm going to use this as a guide. I read through it a little bit. She talks about straight stitching and stuff too, so it's not completely free motion quilting, but she does touch on free motion quilting, and I'm going to use some of her tips from here. And I think I have that link to her book in this post as well. But we'll be looking at that as a guide, and I've read one or two other little free motion books, and I'll probably watch some videos before I get started. I like being prepared. I like giving it a try. So the other we've tried it a little bit before on here, just with a scrap piece, but that's about it. So after I give something a try, then I decide if I want to dig in or not. And then that's when I get to researching and all that. So that's why I've read up on it now, and I'm excited about giving it a go now. But here we are. This is our finished embroidery. So here is the little purple ferny guy. I love those purple berries so much. I like all these little French knots. French knots were a good deal on this one, I think. And then the sparkle floss, like I love this snowflake right here with the little French knots. We went back and did these French knots because I forgot them the first time. But I love it. Oh, you took a workshop from Christa. Oh, you practice on smaller 12-inch blocks. Oh, Lucy, that's a good idea. Maybe I should get a 12-inch block ready to go, and then we can use that as a guide. I think that's a great idea. You know, just have it on hand just in case we need it. All right, I'm going to take this out of the hoop. So I do not know how I want to finish this yet. So right now it is just an embroidery. Maybe a project will come up, you know, this year sometime where this will be the perfect project for it. I think it'd be a cute bag or something. I'm trying to figure out kind of what I need. Like, do I need more pillows? Do I really need, you know, something else? Maybe it'll be a quilt block. Maybe I'll start doing like a bird quilt or something. I don't know. But I like it. It is officially done. All right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around, and I think we're gonna call it a night. And not tomorrow, on Monday, we are going to just we'll just get started on the charming Chevrons quilt. So from Christa Quilts, I'm totally stoked on this project. And I'm super excited to get going. Oh, I think I follow Leah Day on YouTube. I think you guys might have suggested her earlier, and I started following her too. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit. Ooh, a critter quilt. That would be cool. Oh, one for each season, like birds for each season or something. Oh, that would be pretty sweet. Oh, I love that idea. Yeah, we'll have to come up with something like that. That'd be fun. All right, guys, I'm going to flip you around, and we'll call it an evening, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to just turn you around. All right, so it was a quick one today, just getting this finished, but it is Friday, so I'll let you guys have a Friday, but I love it. So this was so fun to give this the crayon tinting a try. It looks so much more subtle, the crayon tinting, than it did when it was just crayon. Like now that we have the stitching and stuff in there, I feel like the stitching is more prominent again, which is, I was a little worried about that. I was worried that the stitching would get kind of sucked away by the crayon, but it was the opposite. So I'm totally happy with this technique. We're gonna have to do it again. We're gonna have to crayon tint again. This is just fun. Maybe we'll try paint. You can do it with paint and watercolor, and you can do it with colored pencil too. Maybe we'll give one of those a try next time, but we're gonna have to do it again because it was fun. So all right, guys, I'll get this up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies, and I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I probably will have an email going out early next week with the just kind of to let you know what fabric's remaining still. So I'm going to post my remaining fabric from the fabric sale. There's a couple yards here and there. I'm going to post that in the Penguin and Fish Crafters group, but I will send an email out with the time that that post will go up and what day, I don't know yet, but it'll probably be early next week, both for the email and for the post. So if you're looking for more fabric, keep an eye on that. If you're not on my email, then if you don't get my emails right now, then I do have a link here to do that, and you also get a free pattern, free embroidery pattern for signing up there. But keep a lookout for that and join the Penguin and Fish Crafters group to be able to comment and get the fabric as well. So awesome, guys. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will catch you on Monday for a new project. I'm so excited. All right, guys. Good night.